A video uploaded by the Korean Embassy in India has reportedly charmed its way into the hearts of millions of Indian viewers as embassy staff members, including Ambassador Chang Jae-bok, danced to the song Natu Natu from the hit Telugu film RRR that made history this past weekend by becoming the first Indian film song to win an Oscar. So how is this viral video of dancing diplomats bolstering bilateral ties? What was the response from Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi? And what are the prospects for Korea-India ties this year as they mark their 50th anniversary? Welcome to Issues and Insiders. Korea and India celebrate 50 years of diplomatic ties this year. And to mark the occasion today, we delve into bilateral ties and more. For this purpose, I have Im Sang-woo, Deputy Chief of Mission at the Korean Embassy in India, live on the line. Minister Lim, it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
I also have Rajesh Chadha, Senior Fellow at the Center for Social and Economic Progress, live on the line as well. Dr. Chadha, it's great to have you with us as well.
Namaste and annyeonghaseyo.
Thank you so much. Right, Minister Lim, we'll start with you. Let's begin then with a few words, or your thoughts that is, regarding India's latest efforts to expand its diplomatic clout.
Sure. I came to India this January this year, and from what I've seen so far, really, India is at the center stage of world diplomacy. India has assumed the G20 presidency for this year for the G20 summit, and really has taken this opportunity to present India as a key player that really contributes to resolving various global challenges. And on the other end, it is also hosting the Chinese-led Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit this year. So really, it reinforces India's role as a regional, if not global, balancer. And also, India held a virtual Global South summit earlier this year, representing the voice of 120 plus countries. And India is also very active in various regional multilateral consultative groups. In addition to the well-known Quad, there's also the India, Australia, Indonesia grouping. There's also the so-called I2U2, India, Israel, UAE, USA consultative group. So India is really expanding its diplomatic clout outreach, not just in this region, but I think beyond the Indo-Pacific. And the rising importance of India really is demonstrated by the flurry of high-level visits that have been made this year so far. We've had the Egyptian president come here early in January, followed by the German chancellor, the Italian prime minister, and then last week was the Australian prime minister, and then we'll be having the Japanese prime minister come in later half of this week. We're expecting that visit. So really, India is the place to be if you're a diplomat, and I'm very happy to be here.
Right, indeed. Dr. Chadha, as Minister Lim mentioned earlier, India, it's a member of various international clubs ranging from the Quad Security Dialogue to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Now, that being said, would it be accurate, Dr. Chadha, to assume that India is not as concerned about the existing geopolitical differences among nations as it is about the potential mutual economic gains through these diverse groupings?
Yeah, I think the US-China trade war, global pandemic, and Russia-Ukraine war have changed the contours of the systemic global transition since the 2008 financial crisis. All these challenges and risks for India are real, but the current fog of systematic uncertainty is not new for India. History shows how India's policy of non-alignment has often been a useful navigational device to adapt to change, craft a new balance, and preserve the country's cherished strategic autonomy. It is time for India to expand its global economic cooperation. Hence, it is actively participating in Quadrilateral Security Dialogue and Shanghai Cooperation Organization. India holds the presidency of G20 in 2023 with its theme as Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one future. India played a crucial role in the G20 Bali summit to close policy gaps and produce a consensus statement. India's self-perception as an independent power shapes its pragmatic and even positive approach to the growing state of global disorder.
Right, I see. And Minister Lim, President Yoon Suk-yeol has placed much emphasis on Korea's Indo-Pacific strategy for peace and prosperity. Having said that, what kind of partner do you suppose is India to South Korea?
Yes, as you said, the Yoon Suk-yeol government has announced the Indo-Pacific strategy. It was announced last year, end of December, and it is probably the first ever comprehensive regional strategy that has been announced by the Korean government. And what it presents as Korea's aspiration as a global pivotal state to assume a bigger role in tackling the challenges that we face regionally as well as globally. So there are basically three pillars in our Indo-Pacific strategy. First is freedom, where we will contribute to the promotion of universal values and also a rules-based international order that a lot of people and countries have benefited from so far. And second, we also imagine Korea assuming a more active role in tackling not only traditional security matters, but also non-traditional new security issues such as food security and pandemic. So that would be the second pillar that we call peace. And the third pillar is prosperity, where Korea, given the shift in the economic international order, where there's more emphasis on supply chain resilience, value chains, I think Korea has a lot to contribute in this aspect too. At the same time, try to work with partner countries to re-establish a free and open international trade order that has benefited a lot of countries. So these three pillars, I think, are pretty much in line with what India is thinking with regards to its Indo-Pacific strategy. The Indian Indo-Pacific Oceans Initiative has 7 core areas of cooperation, and those 7 areas really coincide a lot with what we think are the top priority areas that we should work together. So yes, Korea and India being vibrant democracies, economic powerhouses that share common values, I think we are really natural partners in advancing our common vision of a free, prosperous, and peaceful Indo-Pacific.
Right, and moving forward, Dr. Chadha, there has been some talk about India's prospects of replacing China as the factory of the world. What are your thoughts regarding such talk?
I just mentioned the global supply chains have played a significant role in enhancing the forces of globalization. China became a factory of the world and also initiated its Belt and Road Initiative. However, after the initial enthusiasm for this venture, further investments have largely dried up. The story of China-based global supply chains is getting diluted in the current context of the US-China trade war, deglobalization, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Countries and firms worldwide are diversifying to the China plus one strategy. The candidate Asian countries include Thailand, Malaysia, India, Vietnam, Indonesia, the Philippines, and Bangladesh. Many countries worldwide are considering diversifying their dependence on the China plus one strategy. However, it would be difficult for the global supply chains to move out of China quickly. For example, several South and Southeast Asian countries seek an alternative in India, whether by intensifying trade relations or pushing for closer defense cooperation. G20 leadership provides India with an opportunity to showcase its prowess.
Right. And Minister Korean companies also are said to be looking into the possibility of leaving China for India. What have you been witnessing with regard to this growing interest, if I may?
Actually, Korean companies were among the first foreign companies that came to India in the 1990s when India first launched a new program of opening its economy. For example, Samsung came here and opened a small factory in the vicinity of New Delhi back in 1995. But fast forward 30 years, now Samsung, that factory that Samsung operates, turns out about 100 million phones per year, making one of the largest factories that Samsung has overseas. And also Hyundai here has a plant in Chennai, and last year Hyundai Motors was the second largest selling brand in India, with about 800,000 autos sold in India. And two-way trade also has recorded an all-time high last year, 27.7 billion US dollars. So you can really see that the economic ties are getting stronger and stronger between Korea and India. But having said that, I think there's a whole lot more that we can further expand in our economic cooperation, given the fact that Korea and India are leaders in various important sectors such as IT and high-end technology, pharmaceuticals. So really, I think we can work together to further tap into these potentials.
Right, and talking about further working together, Dr. Chadha, I understand some 20 years ago you led a delegation of scholars, economists, I believe, to South Korea from India. How have such exchanges between the two countries evolved, perhaps, over the years?
Yes, I led a delegation of Indian economists 20 years ago to Seoul to speak at the first Korea International Economic Forum, organized by the Korean Institute of International Economic Policy on the 30th anniversary of India-Korea diplomatic relations. Subsequently, India's President, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, visited the Republic of Korea in February 2006. Discussions on the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement between India and South Korea commenced in February 2006. The CEPA was signed in August 2009 and was enacted in January 2010. At the same time, President Lee paid a landmark visit to India as the chief guest at India's Republic Day celebrations in January 2010. The Korea Plus initiative led to the promotion of Korean investments in India. The bilateral trade doubled from about 12 billion US dollars in 2009 to more than 26 billion in 2021 and even more now. India received US dollar 5.3 billion investment from South Korea from April 2000 to September 2022. That is about 9% of the total FDI received in India. Samsung, LG, Hyundai, and Kia have become household names on account of the direct investment that India received from South Korea.
Right, and beyond the diplomatic as well as trade ties between the two countries, I'd like to take this particular moment now to focus more on their cultural ties, maybe the soft power that the two countries share because of their culture. And before I do that, first I'd like to congratulate India for making history this past Sunday at the 95th Academy Awards, during which the song Natu Natu from the film RRR won Best Original Song. Now, this is also precisely the song to which the Korean Embassy in India danced to and delighted people there. That being said, perhaps we can take a quick look at the 53-second video before we continue this conversation.
Natu natu.
Right, now that was some amazing footwork, if I may say so myself, in a very charming clip. Minister Lim, could you tell us a bit about the people in the video? And where are you in the video? Are you part of the two men who dance after the ambassador?
Well, actually, yeah, I'm the guy on the left with the suspenders on.
I thought so, okay.
Yes. Well, yes. Well, first of all, we're about the Oscar, not to winning the Oscars. We're also really very happy. Congratulations from the bottom of our heart to the Indian people for this remarkable feat. And you know, it shows that Nacha is a song for everybody in the world. So, really happy. And yeah, this idea just came about when we're in India, and we try to really learn more about Indian culture, and then RR is such a huge hit, and we listened to the Nacha Nacha song, and it's such a catchy song with a catchy rhythm. We thought that would be a good idea to have this short video to show our appreciation for Indian song and dance. So this idea came up, and then luckily we have a tax attaché, First Secretary Lee Jimin, who's actually like a semi-pro. She's done musicals before when she was in Korea, and so she was actually able to teach us all these moves, and she was pretty much the whole producer of this whole video. So, and of course the ambassador, he has the best moves, as you can see in the video. So we really had a great time filming this video, and we're really we're happy and we're honored that a lot of people watched this video and liked it.
Right, it was very well received, if I may say so myself. Now, Minister Lim, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi also called this clip a very lively quote, an adorable team effort. What do you believe have been the broader implications of this video thus far?
Well, really, we're really honored that Prime Minister Modi himself wrote that tweet, sent this tweet, and I think this really shows that Korea and India really share a lot. There's an ancient history book where it says the Korean people are very peculiar. They love to sing and dance all the time. So that really characterizes, I think, the Korean trait. And Indians too. I've been here for about 2 months. Indians really, they also love to sing and dance. So we share this love for culture. And I think one of the reasons Korean Korean music has been popular nowadays is because of this innate love for music and dance. And the same goes for the success of Nacha Nacha. So really, as important soft powers, I think Korea and India could really have contribute more in this area and expand cooperation as well.
Right, indeed. I'd have to agree with you right there. Meanwhile, Dr. Chadha, on a more somber note, there are pundits who say India has perhaps hurdles to tackle should it hope to attract foreign businesses into its country. How do you respond?
I think partly I've responded with saying that we received a significant amount of FDI, foreign direct investment from Korea. India has emerged as one of the fastest growing economies in the world, and it now offers a growing and thriving environment for investments. India's substantial domestic consumption, led by the private sector, has played a significant role in the country's growth. India has an estimated middle class of 400 million people, the main driver of consumption expenditure. The government has propagated an investor-friendly foreign direct investment policy in which most sectors are now open for 100% FDI under the automatic route. The reform measures include amendments to laws and the liberalization of guidelines and regulations to reduce compliance burden and enhance the ease of business in India. As a result, India offers the ideal blend of innovation, talent, financial and renewable resources to help businesses. Invest India is an active investment promotion agency which acts as an advisor, guide, and facilitator to every investor looking to invest in India. As a result, India attracted the highest ever foreign direct investment inflow of more than $84 billion during the financial year 2021-22.
Right. Minister Lim, Korea and India, as I mentioned earlier, they're celebrating 50 years of diplomatic ties this year. What perhaps are some of the events planned to mark this occasion at the embassy there?
Yes, we are really happy that we're celebrating 50 years of diplomatic relations between Korea and India. And throughout this year, we have all sorts of exciting events lined up to celebrate this important milestone. There will be for instance, K-pop dance contest. There will be a Korean film festival, Korean food festival. On the religion front, we have various Buddhism-inspired events lined up for the year. So really, it's going to be a continuation of various events that will mark this important milestone. And on the political front, we expect to have more high-level exchanges between our two countries, of course, culminating in the September G20 summit. On the economic front, we have ongoing negotiations to revise the free trade agreement that we have in place with India, and that would also, provide another boost in our economic cooperation. So really, this year we'll be celebrating all throughout the year, and what we do this year will prepare for another 50 years of great friendship and partnership between Korea and India.
Right, and staying with that, Dr. Chadha, we have about 30 seconds left. What are your thoughts with regard to ways to ensure better ties or stronger ties for the next 50 years ahead?
Look, at a minister level meeting held between India and South Korea, held in January 2022, the two countries agreed to impart fresh momentum to the discussions on the upgradation of the CEPA. The talks aimed at doubling bilateral trade between the two countries from $25 billion to $50 billion by 2030. The ninth round of the India-Republic-Korea Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement was held in Seoul in 2022, and the 10th round would be held in New Delhi sometime soon. Beyond trade and investment, a broader people-to-people interaction is needed to expand bilateral relations over the next 50 years.
I would have to agree right there, Dr. Chadha. Thank you so much for your time and your thoughts, Dr. Chadha. And Minister Lim, thank you so much for your thoughts as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. That is all the time we have for this edition of Issues and Insiders. Be sure to join us same time tomorrow. That is Wednesday. Thank you for now.